she's mentally confident with what's going on around her, until she quits trying to avoid everything. So I'm working on the shoulder a lot because she really wants to block me here. And I'm talking, these are like really subtle things that I'm talking about. It's not, she's not really diving her shoulder in. I'm talking the angle that her head is holding at and the way that her eye is looking over here. I'm talking really, really subtle, where she's not, she's bent of course, but she's not really acknowledging it. This whole time she's been trying to block it out. See how that ear is locked forward and the eye won't look past me? She doesn't want to look at this flag, and that's why I keep scaring her too, because every time I move it, she's like, oh, that was there again. Well, yeah, it's been there the whole time. One of the things I'm using to help her is this hand. I'm keeping it pinky down so that I can feel a lot of what's going on and I have leverage if I need it. See, she just blew off that flag and I was like, oh, it's still there. And I can lift it up, which forces her hip to go out and her head to curve in, but still allows forward movement, just like a rain hand. So just little things that we can change about, you know, I'm not sitting back here and dragging on it because that causes her to shut down. I'm lifting up the whole time to help permit her feet to move while still changing how she moves them. And that's the thing that I'm going to want to do a lot of with her, because she wants to handle things by locking and freezing her feet and just holding still and dealing with it. Well, that's not going to do me any good when I'm riding her because I want her feet to move. So I'm going to spend a lot of time trying to find this happy balance. See, right in here where she's moving pretty calm and collectively, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm looking for those changes. She's not panicked, she's not even walking fast, she's just kind of moving. So that was a pretty calm departure. She dealt with that, she acknowledged the flag. She wasn't happy about it, and she told me that, but she acknowledged it and she stepped away from it and carried on with her circle. She didn't blow out of here, which is why I let her kind of take a break. I quit picking on her, I gave her a longer lead rope, because that was a really good effort on her part. She had a little bit of a break. I'll draw her back in. There, she gave me her head right away. I'm just going to work on building some of her confidence with everything, really. Because especially right now, she's going to feel a little bit like I'm picking on her, because none of the answers that she's had are right. I won't leave her alone with, you know, blowing up. I won't leave her alone with moving her keys faster. I won't leave her alone when she shakes. I won't leave her alone when she squares up with me. So I want to make sure she understands she's not getting picked on, we're just finding different answers now. There. Oop. We should get some licking and chewing in a second when she actually dealt with that. Now she's really kind of thinking about the fact that it's actually there and existing in her world. See how much more animation I'm getting on this left ear? Physical things like that tell you a lot. If she wants to tip out again, I can draw her right back in and she starts flicking that ear and thinking again. Even that was really good. On this side, but if she doesn't soon here, I'm just going to switch anyway, because you got to keep her really balanced. It's important to keep any horse balanced, but like Pistol is just more laid back, just more emotionally and mentally laid back than what she is. So I'm going to do a more careful job of keeping her well-rounded. So I'll let her change eyes, and I'll try to make it her responsibility. I want to give her as many tasks as I can. See, now we got a whole new horse on the other eye. See, she said, no, we're good on this side. Let's do this side. Which, in her world, she tried to give me an answer. So I'm not going to discredit her. She said, well, I can't deal with you over on my right eye yet. And she doesn't understand that I can help her through some of this. But she tried to give me an answer to deal with everything that I was asking of her. So this horse has a lot to try. I mean, right in here, this is a lot of pressure, and I've been really happy that she hasn't tried to kick or anything, because she's been in a good position too a couple times, and where I'm at, I couldn't do a lot to talk her out of it. So that's another thing, you know, she's not being nasty, and she could be. So I'm going for this belly and cinch area just because it's kind of sensitive. And hopefully it'll kind of help snap her attention up to me instead of just, like, if I'm petting on her back and everything, that's a lot easier for her to blow off. But if I'm petting right in here, this is a little bit harder for her to ignore. And the other thing is that it's just good areas for her to get, you know, touched and moved around in. I mean, just for her to gain confidence that she's not going to die if I touch that area. See right there, she started collapsing into me, and I was able to use just kind of this back belly area where a back seat could be. I could kind of pat in there, and it really made her arc her body around me again and get her out. But I think a lot of your major issues that you've been having are just this whole switching eyes thing. I mean, she's just okay with things directly in front of her, maybe directly behind her, but not on either side, not switching eyes and balancing one side or the other side. And especially not doing that while moving her feet. If I asked her to hold still, she'd be able to tolerate a lot of this. See, she's not flinching, she's not freaking out. But the second I ask her to add foot movement into all this, it suddenly becomes a whole new scary thing. She doesn't know how to control her feet while she just deals with something. So. And that's the other reason she's so snorty and insecure, is she's just never been taught how to deal with all that. And it's not an easy thing to help teach a horse. I mean, it's just kind of like a kid that has no confidence. It's a really, really hard thing to build their confidence up and teach them that they can go out and seize things that they want, you know? So for her, it's not going to be about, you know, picking on her and telling her that, no, this world is not scary, you must deal with these things. It's going to be about showing her a small scary thing at a time and teaching her she can deal with it. This is a huge change. Much better. She's trying really hard to look at me. She's trying really hard there. See, we're getting a little licking and chewing. But she's putting a lot of effort into figuring out what's going on. Which, great things to have in a horse. Awesome disposition to have in a horse. Do a lot of that, and once I get her good at just both eyes, moving her feet, switching in front, we're going to work a lot on switching behind, because again, this is where I'm going to be. See, and even that right there, where she just said, okay, I see that flag's up above me and I kind of need to get away from here, good deal. She didn't, you know, throw a tantrum, she didn't try to buck, she didn't, you know, this right here, if she just needs to go faster, that's okay. If she just feels like she needs to go faster, that's something I can absolutely help her with. See how much more quiet that was? This is only the second time we worked on this side, and she took that way better than we did. That was a huge change. She flicked her ears back and acknowledged it, but didn't even really speed up too much. She didn't change gaits at all. Good deal.
David's going out to spook the guineas, just so you know.
Oh, okay.